unfortunately, Sam Jacobs is not going to be available this week, but through that gives a great opportunity because Reilly O'Brien, I just told him 10 minutes ago, he's going to make his debut. So fantastic for Reilly. The other bit of news is Scott Thompson won't play either this week. We spoke to him last week about, and we've always planned that he's probably going to look at having another break for the end of the season. So he also won't be playing this week.
So what have you learned about Sam Jacobs? Is that a 1 week?
Yeah, so he had a scan yesterday afternoon. The results came back pretty much as we expected, so there's nothing sinister in there. It's a pretty traditional ankle sprain, and suggestions are he's obviously going to miss this week. And look, we're hopeful for next week, but we'll probably have to see how he goes over the weekend and how quickly we can get up and going next week.
So how was the Scott Thompson decision arrived at? Was it planned weeks ago, or was it week by week?
It's week by week. Look, I'd spoken to Tomo over the break about the likelihood of trying to get him another spell between the mid-season bye and the end of the season, and without putting a firm date, we looked at the timing and 6-day break this week. He put up a bit sore, so it just made sense and gives someone else an opportunity and gives him a chance to freshen up.
So Jacobs, are you just managing him, or is he sort of pulled up sore?
No, Jacobs is injured. He's genuinely injured. He's not available. He tweaked that ankle, and as we said, hopefully he'll be right for next week. But we'll see how he trains through next week and how he gets up and going after the swelling goes out of the ankle.
And Taylor Walker, any update?
Yeah, so Tex has done everything we wanted early in the week. We've obviously got main training tonight. He's really optimistic, which is a good sign. But we've got to see him train tonight and see how he recovers in the morning and take it from there.
I know you say that you've got match committee tomorrow, but midfield options with Scott Thompson.
Yep.
Who's high in your thinking there?
Well, we had Harrison Wigg, who was held over for us last week. Cam Ellis-Yeoman's been playing some good footy in the SANFL as well. So Mitch Griggs played some solid footy. So it'll be probably between one of those guys.
Okay. In terms of things that you do at this time of the year, some clubs ramp it up, then taper and all that. So have you got a program for your last month?
We've got plans around our schedule. Coming off a 6-day break, we'll be more like we have been earlier in the season in terms of just watching our loads. We're going to get a good session in tonight without necessarily going overs. And then, we're sort of now looking at the next little block as to what it looks like. Obviously, we got an 8-day break to Fremantle, which probably gives an opportunity for 2 full sessions into 2 6-days. So, we'll manage that accordingly with the loads and how we recover out of those games.
Does that simple system still apply these days of loading up for a couple of weeks and then tapering off? Or
it's probably less. I think it's more constant now. I don't think I'm certainly not aware in our program we're necessarily trying to go through a heavy training phase. I think the way the game's played now is demanding enough on players. So it's probably more looking at individuals than it is as a collective. And I probably overview the collective. Brett Burton and his group are really looking at the individuals as to how they're reporting, how they're showing, and they're tracking on their GPS. And then we assess individual loads as well as obviously team loads overall.
So when you take this one with Scott Thompson, who else is on your list of maybe give him a break every so often?
It's on a case-by-case basis, so I'm not going to name any names.
Is this a good time to learn more about your players? You're shuffling a few players around by necessity.
Yeah.
Carl comes into the ruck, Chris forward.
Yeah.
Somebody comes off the squad. Is that how you can use these next few weeks?
Look, I think the important thing for us doesn't really matter which game. We're always learning. And we're not going to divert too far away from how we want to play. I mean, we might have a slight change in some personnel, and it's great for Rob. I mean, he's been in terrific form in the SANFL, and he's really learned a fair bit of his craft this year. And his last 5 or 6 weeks has been really impressive. So we're really in a great position as we're bringing a young guy in for his first game who's in good form and is playing the way we want to play, and that's great for him and the opportunity that he brings as well as the continuity for the team.
Do you like to have the opposition guessing a little bit as in where does he play and where does he play?
Yeah.
You like to have an unpredictability about you.
I think we're trying to build a combination of predictability for ourselves and unpredictability for the opposition. Now, that's not always achievable, but I think if you ask most teams, they've got a pretty good idea where guys are going to line up and they're going to play. For us, as I've said all along, it's about continuing to improve our game style and how we want to play. So that's not going to change.
I haven't seen. Is Reilly similar in the way that he plays to Source?
Similar and different. He's red-headed like Source, so that's probably a similarity. But he's a really good, strong competitor. As a young ruckman, he's learning his craft as he goes through. And he's made some really good progress this year. His follow-up work's really impressive. So it's exciting for him and great for the footy club to have another first gamer this weekend.
What was his reaction like when you told him that?
Oh, he's obviously wrapped, and he's looking forward to it. Obviously, he's give him as much time as possible to absorb the information and get himself prepared and ready to play. So it's exciting. I mean, trying to think back to when my first game was. It's always a great time in a young player's life.
Was he up and about, or was he a bit of a sort of...
Oh, he's pretty measured. He wasn't sort of jumping around doing cartwheels, but he was excited. Yeah.
So what sort of direction do you give him? What do you want to see from him?
Oh, just to play his role. I mean, that's really what I think. First game in, history tells me you don't overload him a lot of information. He's been playing, and that's the benefit of having him, playing under our coaching structure at Sanford level. He knows the areas we've been working on with him. He knows what he brings to the table, and he's just got to do that on Saturday night.
What about your midfielders? How much time have they had to work with him? So,
well,
simple transition.
training-wise, they do work with him. Obviously, it's going to be different. I mean, Sam hasn't missed a game in a number of years, so it's going to be a different body in there. But again, our structures and everything else will be the same. So it's how we just adapt and move on with a new piece in the puzzle.
Have you been happy with your midfield? The clearance has been down the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, look, our midfield's been really strong. Been really happy with our midfield for the last, probably 8 to 10 weeks. Probably didn't have the greatest day against Geelong, and even on the weekend, I thought we were solid without being outstanding. So it's continual, but we understand the game doesn't always give you exactly what you want in all the areas. So they'll continue to work away, but really happy with how they've progressed as a unit and how even they are.
There's the external notion that it might lack another class player. Do you sense that you need something else in there?
No.
Speed-wise, how do you feel about the speed of it?
We're always looking at the balance of our midfield, and we assess that, and we're trying to find that balance between ball winning, ball carrying, outside run, outside balance, those sorts of things, and that's an ongoing thing. But I think the reality is that in the last 8 or 10 weeks, they've performed really well, and they've done it a different way a lot of times, and they continue to learn as they go, and they're playing really well, and they're playing well together, which is all you can ask for.
82 points is a fantastic margin, but it could have been 100 with those late goals. Have you reminded the guys that if the opportunity arises that you need to push right through for that whole 4 quarters this time? Yeah, look, we spoke briefly about that in the review on Monday, and it was more just a reminder that if we divert away from how we want to play, that opportunity to be scored against exists. Now, whether that's the last 5 minutes or 5 minutes in the first quarter or in the second or the third, it's neither here nor there. It was more just some of the things which we went away from. So it's a nice reminder. And Reilly, it's great against Lovey. I mean, Lovey's obviously got a lot of that AFL experience. So I guess you expect him to be able to step right into that level because he has been doing that already. Yeah,
he has, and he's had, as I said, his last 6 weeks' worth of form's been really solid. So he should come in with great confidence, which is one of the benefits. We're not just picking the next tallest bloke on our list. We're picking a guy who's played ruck and has played really well in the last little period of time. So he should come in with the confidence that he's ready for it, and look on his face suggests he is, and he's going to have a go, which is all we want.
Last couple of on setting targets in games. Do you like to set a target to a team to say we should be achieving this sort of score?
No, we don't talk about score at all. We talk about process. The result tends to look after itself. For us, we will speak about how we want to go about it, what we want to focus on. Again, what are the opposition, their strengths and weaknesses, and how do we want to play, and then we do that, and the process will dictate the result.
Does percentage matter at all?
Oh, look, at the end of the day, percentage may matter, but reality for us, every game we play, we go about trying to play our way and find out whether that's good enough. Then if that's good enough, how far is really just dependent upon how adherent we are to the process and how we go about maintaining our level of intensity around both the contest and our running.
There's this AFL regulation now that you've got to tell assistant coaches where they stand if they're out of contract on July 31. Have you worked through that process yet?
We've had discussions with our assistant coaches. We haven't got anyone coming out of contract, so it's an easier discussion.
Are you looking at amending it now that you can see who else is available around?
We're in the throes of reviewing, not only our coaching structure, but structure across the footy department side of things, and that's ongoing. That's just normal course of business.
You said that Tex would be going through a bit of a test this evening. What does that consist of? Is it
no, he'll just train. He'll just train. He's ready to go. He'll join in full training, and again, he's really confident. I'd expect he'll get through full training. If he does, he plays.
But given what Port Adelaide did last week with a couple of their tall forwards out, and also the fact the decision you made with Scotty Thompson to give him a rest? Is there not the temptation to maybe just give Tex that extra week to make sure he's absolutely cherry ripe?
We'll see how he pulls up, but if he's fit and he's ready to go, he's had a week off last week, so we won't take a risk with him. But if he says he's ready to play, we'll play him.
How much does the week off benefit players in terms of normally most players are carrying something, no one's ever 100%, but in your experience, how much at this stage does a week off do for their health? And
yeah, I think it's useful. I mean, for a guy like Tomo, who's obviously played a lot of footy, it's physical as well as mental. I think just the fact of not having to come up for a game every on a weekend allows him now to have a week's training. He'll still be out there training tonight, so it's not like he has a full week off training. It'll be just more that come the weekend he doesn't have to worry about building up to play and recovering and so forth. So yeah, I think it's a combination of physical and mental.